Hey, what the heck? What the heck? Okay, sorry guys. They are trying to distract me from giving you the best education ever. Okay, bafethu ngegama nguSihle wakwaSkhosana, and this is Close Up Education. And today we'll be studying. Okay, yeah, I thought maybe we could do our percentages, but then no, we can't do our percentages before we do our fractions, because of a percentage is a fraction, but then is a fraction that always have 100 at the bottom. So angeke sicale kuma percentages, so let me wipe this thing out ukuze so understand firstly what is a fraction. Let's go. All right, yes, fractions. I know you might say, oh Sihle, what the heck, at my age doing my fractions? Yes, fractions, you did it them grade 5, but then they still continue. Mangakbuza, what is a fraction right now? You would not be able to answer. Number one, what is a fraction? A fraction is a measure of how something is divided into part. A measure of how something is divided into part. It doesn't matter what something is. It can be bread, it can be pizza, it can be any favorite meal yakho. How is it divided into part? And it has to be expressed in a fraction form, in a number form. So what is a fraction? A measure of how something is divided into parts. It is divided into parts. How something is divided into parts. So here, firstly, we will doing a common fraction. What we call it, a common fraction. A common fraction obviously has 3 types of fractions. It has an improper fractions, it has a proper fraction, and it also has mixed numbers. Improper fraction, proper fraction, and mixed numbers. So let's do an example. My mother ngithumile ezuse Mnumzane, Sihle, go and buy isinkwa. I go running, buy isinkwa. Come back, tell my mother, Mama, I would love to take half of that bread. I would love to eat half of that bread because of I eat too much. So it's two halves, meaning it's 2 halves. I took how many? 1. I took one, meaning what it would say 1/2. And what is this? This is a proper fraction. Why is it a proper fraction? Because of the numerator, which is the number on top, is much smaller than the denominator, which is the number at the bottom. Let's continue. Let me make my example even more difficult. My mother says, Sihle, go and buy bread. And I tell my mother, Mama, I don't smoke weed, Mina. I don't eat too much. I will only eat 3 slices of that 6 slice bread. So I'll be eating 3 slices. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many slices does this bread have? It has 6 slices. So it's going to be our denominator, that one. This is the bread I ate. Total is 6 slices. How many did I eat? 3 slices. So what is this called? A proper fraction. Proper. A proper fraction. Right? Then we have our second type of fraction, which is called an improper fraction. Definitely means is the opposite of the proper fraction. Meaning it has to be 6/3. It's 6/3. The numerator is much bigger than the denominator, and that is improper fraction. 6/3. It's an improper fraction. Then we have our third type of fraction, which is the mixed number fraction. It has a whole number and it has the proper fraction. So it looks like this. It's 1/2/3. Maybe like this. Maybe like this. Then this is called a mixed number. So how will you remember ukuthi what is a proper and what is improper? Obvious, ukhulele kasi, meaning ukuthi you know into engizoyisho. Umama can carry the child. Mother is much bigger than the child. The mother can carry the child. That is proper fraction. But then the child can never carry the mother. That is improper fraction. That's how you remember proper and improper fraction. So let's continue. I'm a matriculant because of I want to reach my percentages, but then I can't reach my percentages when else you haven't understood my fractions. Then we are done with what we call our common fraction, right? We have our second fraction, which is called the decimal fraction. The decimal fraction. Let's wipe this thing up. Hey, I'm sorry, were you still writing? Askis, you can pause the video, like my TikTok or my YouTube channel, and make sure, Baba, Uguti, you write whatever I wrote. Pause, take screenshots, and continue writing. So the second one is the decimal fraction. The decimal fraction, right? The decimal fraction, it simply means the simplified fraction. Simplified fraction. Decimal fraction is a simplified common fraction. There's a denominator of a power of 10. How do you calculate a decimal fraction? You use a number system called the base 10 system. The base 10 system. If you did grade 11 wako or grade 10 or grade 7 wako, you remember what is a base 10. A base 10 consists of thousands, hundreds, tens, and units. But then because of you are in a metric, you are a matriculant, this continues after we have our tenth, we have our hundredth, and we have our thousands, right? Then we have a decimal here, a decimal point that separates the whole numbers and the fractions. This is called a decimal point. Remember, it pays 10. This is how you calculate your decimal fraction. See here, what do you mean about this is a system you use to calculate a decimal fraction? Let me make you an example. Let me wipe this thing first. Hey. Concentrate. Okay. Divide by 10 equals to 100. Right? Take this 100, divide by 10 equals to 10. Right? Take this 10, divide by 10 equals to 1. These are whole numbers. They cancel each other and give us 1. 1 divided by 10 equals to 0,1. What is 0,1 in a fraction? 0,1 in a common fraction is obviously 1 over 10. 0,1 in a fraction, in a common fraction is 1 over 10. That's what I mean by the power of 10. That the decimal fraction denominator is always in the power of 10. 10, 10, 10. 10, 10, 10. So you have simplified, obviously, our way of writing in a fraction form into a decimal form, which is 0,1. Right? That obviously means 1 over 10. We can make another example. If it's 1 over 2, it will obviously mean 0,5. Why 0,5? Because of it's in a power of 10, and 5 in 10, it's obviously a half. That's what we know about 1 over 2. That 1 over 2 is the half. Is a half. Hey, what? I'm still teaching. What the heck? Going? Okay. Hey. And remember, Masiangapa, going to our left, we multiply. Masiangapa, after the decimal point, we divide by 10. 10, 10, 10. Yes. Okay.